What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB The Show 23. Been really looking forward to the game coming out this year, as I will be starting a new franchise series here on the second channel, and I'll be talking about that today, going through some things in franchise. We'll play a game, and I'm just looking forward to it. And thank you to PlayStation for giving me a code for the game, along with a bunch of stuff that I wanted to show off as well. Really grateful for that. They are generous enough to give me the game. I'd buy the game every year. I really enjoy MLB The Show. But I'm excited to start a new series very soon. Probably the next week. I'd like to get going. And they have some new things in franchise mode I'll be talking about on the channel, both today and in videos. I've been working on a scouting video where I've gone through a full year with their scouting features now and seen what that is like. I've gone through the draft. I have a pretty good grasp on how that goes. And, you know, there's nothing better in franchise than adding players to your team. So I'm glad that they addressed that in this game. What's going on, though, everybody? I'm glad to see the chat filling up here. I know it's a stream on not even short notice. We're talking about no notice. But glad everybody can make it. I haven't done a whole lot on my own. I spent most of the day messing around with scouting and working on a video that's just not quite done for that. And then, I went into practice mode to, like, rebuild my camera that I have been bringing over from, like, every game since MLB 17 or 18. I go into, like, Target Field with Byron Buxton, and I just get that camera about as similar as I can to the one I had previously. I don't personally play Diamond Dynasty, but I think it's the most interesting, like, card collecting sports game mode that is out there. Looks like there's a lot of pretty cool cards for that. And one thing I went into a little bit is I was checking out the storylines for the Negro Leagues, and this is really cool. There's a lot of, like, copyright music and, like, old baseball footage that I couldn't show on the channel, but I definitely recommend checking that out. I think you can earn some stuff for Diamond Dynasty. I was playing with Satchel Paige earlier, throwing a 105-mile-per-hour fastball. I'm assuming you're playing as, like, his card with those ratings, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to play that and learn about a lot of those great players and a very important part of baseball history. So some very cool stuff here with MLB The Show 23. How's everyone doing? How's everybody enjoying the game so far, those that have gotten a chance to play? I haven't yet chose the team I'll be playing as in franchise. I think I'd like to go back to the American League with this series after being in the National League with the Rockies franchise. That still isn't over, but I haven't yet really decided what team I want. There are a couple that I like, and it's just a matter of how much of a challenge I'm looking for. It's not going to be starting right now, not in this stream, but we will be doing one shortly on the channel. I may be biased, but you should do the A's. I was checking out their roster earlier, man, and it's rough out there in the Bay right now. I mean, they don't have anybody on the team above a 77. I mean, geez. Aledmys Diaz is the best it gets. Am I going to end the Rockies series after the postseason run? I honestly have to play it by ear and see kind of how things go, and then I think I have to get creative with the format here soon because The series is going on 2 years old now, so I'm going to have to think of something and just be creative like I did with the Vikings franchise. I mean, I did something that I felt worked for where we were, how much time I wanted to pass, while still telling a story that kept the series going. So that's what I hope to do. So the A's are an option. We got the Mariners, who were in rebuild mode for so long, made it to the postseason last year, and they got a lot of fun players on this team now. It's the most fun to go and find those young players. You got the Texas Rangers, who aren't good, at least they haven't been, but they have spent a ton of money trying to get people to come to their new stadium. Let's see, what else we got for good options? I mean, the Nationals, of course, World Series a few short years ago, and now anything but a World Series caliber roster. And that would be, obviously, for a National League Series. And I'm not against that. I lean American League, but it honestly doesn't make a huge difference. The Cubs go get Dansby Swanson, but there's still, like, a lot of needs on this team. The Reds, I mean, they had a good roster a couple years ago, sold it off a year ago. The Brewers, mid-tier. Pirates, $80 million payroll. Cardinals are solid. Diamondbacks, I'm not going back to the NL West. Rockies are still a great franchise team. You know you want to use my O's. I really thought about it because that division is so fun, and I love doing series where, oh, these must be like special versions. I love doing series where I play in just a loaded division. I think that makes it really fun. And the AL East fits. You got the Red Sox, who haven't been all that good if I don't want to stop playing with Rafael Devers, and he's so much fun to play with. The Yankees, I won't be playing as them. The Rays, can't see me picking them, but they're not a bad option. They have a lot of good pitching already. The Jays, if you just want a roster that's already like made ready to be a lot of fun. The White Sox, another mid-tier team that's been underperforming, but certainly has young guys that could get them to the top of the AL Central. The Guardians can pitch and win a bunch of games 3-2, and that's usually good enough in the American League Central. Tigers, perpetual rebuild. Royals, perpetual rebuild with a random World Series like 10 years ago. The Twins, mid-tier, spent a bunch of money on Carlos Correa. My favorite team, but I won't be picking the Twins, not the Astros. I even thought about the Angels because you got two of the best, and the rest of the team isn't good enough to get even a wild card spot. We got the A's, who don't spend any money. And I think that we have come full circle. So I think there are plenty of options. I love your suggestions. Your pitches in the comments would be much appreciated. I think the Angels would be kind of a unique option too, because you get to play with two absolute superstars, but by no means are you done there. And if you manage to keep Trout and Ohtani, well, there's a huge bit of your payroll going to those two guys. So I think the Angels are honestly a pretty good choice. We'll see. But I'm excited to do a franchise over here. I'm not exactly sure yet what it's going to look like in terms of every episode. I'm not planning on just watching games play out like I do on Madden. I'm planning on playing and hopefully giving you an interesting, view of the series where we go through and I'll do some player lock games here and there, play some full games for the channel, and do some simming, some critical situations, a lot like my Rockies series, but into a different box, just taking all that stuff, moving it into this, and hopefully doing something that can be big for this channel, because I am hungry for exactly that. Can't wait to get it on Tuesday when it's on Game Pass. Yeah, another year where it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, which is pretty sweet. Teams with high payroll shouldn't be considered. Generally speaking, I agree. Like the Angels will be willing to spend a ton. And I kind of like having challenges. And, the A's are awful tempting when there's not going to be a lot of spending money. And the other thing that I think I'll do in this franchise as well is to up the difficulty. I'd like to not use... Where do they keep the sponsorships? I think I'm going to keep myself from using those this time around. I don't know where they keep them. I saw them earlier today, but maybe I have to be in the regular season. Because it kind of is just a cheap way to get more money. And I just want the challenge. Because I've managed to turn the Rockies into a fairly high budget team over on my main channel. I don't know where you edit this. Yeah, I don't think I'll be returning to the Sidney Jean-Charles Road to the Show. On the bottom bar, review sponsorships. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think I'll be using any sponsorships. So we'll see who I end up picking. Hope to get that nailed down here in the next couple days so we can get right into it. Like in the show, I don't usually feel the need to wait. I mean, you can go into the rosters already, and there's all the prospects. Maybe there's some guys that are missing, but I mean, you can go onto the Twins, and you got their top prospect here in, where is he? Where's Brooks Lee? He's on here somewhere. I missed him. I saw him earlier today. Where on earth is he? Not that it's super important or anything. If these are default rosters, out of the box franchises missing Tatis and Senga, well, I'll probably want at least one roster update then if there are some key guys missing. There we go. Yeah, Brooks Lee down at single A. And yeah, I'd like to take over a team that has a pretty, like, poorly rated farm system as well. Do you guys want to check out a little bit of the franchise scouting first, or do you want to get into a game? Oh, he won't be put back until his suspension is up. Okay. Is single A playable in this game? Not that I am aware of. I think it's still limited to triple and double A. Let me verify. I saw they were referencing the single A teams in here earlier, I thought. Let me go to the regular season. Yeah, double A, triple A, MLB. They have single A, but I don't think it's really functional. It's just there. All right, people want to see some scouting, and I'm working on a video for the channel where I go a little more in depth and I show you a full year scouting players and what that looks like, and then the draft. And I think that to sum it up, I'd say that it's a pretty good new system. I think there are a couple things I'd like to see tweaked, but overall, I've liked using it. It's certainly not a super difficult system, although there were a couple times I drafted players that ended up being wildly different than what we had scouted, but getting high potential players hasn't been all that challenging. When is the next worst video? I'm not quite sure yet. I'm focused on MLB here right now, and then when the dust settles, I'll think about the next worst team rebuild over on that series. Hopefully player development is improved. Yeah, if we go through a season, maybe we can get an idea of some player movement there. One thing I saw that still has to be, I think, addressed here with sliders is like trade frequency. The CPU does so many trades, and they're not very good ones either. So the way that scouting works in here, let's get into it, is you no longer are going to have to like go in there every day and switch out like who you're focused on, and it's a little bit better. Every Sunday, this is going to pop up here. Now, my camera's blocking it. Let me, it'll say, today is a day to set scouting assignments. You're going to do this every Sunday. And you'll want to make sure, like, you have the scouts that you want by going to the contracts and then scouts tab. And I know my camera is going to be in the way again. I'll just keep moving it around. So what I found was best is to have scouts who have really high efficiency, because the higher the efficiency, the faster they're going to be able to scout players. And then the pitching ratings and position players will, that's kind of like their ability to scout those players. And discovery is for when you're trying to just widen your talent pool and find more players to scout. With more discovery, you'll find more players in a given week. Sometimes with low discovery, a scout might find one player, whereas at a high discovery, they'll find, 5 or 6. And it's important just to weigh what's important to you, because you're going to get 14 weeks to scout, and each week you're going to have 3 different objectives. So I'm going to pick a new scout here. I'll take one of these well-rounded scouts, and we'll just do a quick replacing here. And then once we get into the scouting menu, you're going to have 3 different priorities, and that's going to be scouting an individual player, scouting at a specific position, or just trying to find players that aren't on the board already. So if we take a look, the other thing you'll want to do is set your positional needs, because it's not just about finding the players now in this game. You also need to get them signed. And if they're not interested, that's going to make it more difficult. You'll have to either offer more money for that player to actually sign with you after drafting, or you're going to have to spend a lot more of your resources on them to raise their interest. So I'm going to take starting pitcher, let's go third baseman, and then center field. That will give me a boost when scouting players at those spots. It'll raise their interest. You'll notice they're on the left side. Hey, John, how you doing? I appreciate the super chat. Just hopped on. Are you going to make a video detailing all your settings, or can you do it now, please? I do want to make that video this year. I did not do it last year. I was already thinking about that. I can show off some of my settings after we do a little bit of the scouting. I wanted to show that. But I will do a video showing my franchise settings for a realistic style experience. And you can certainly get an experience more realistic than mine, depending on how hardcore you are with certain things. But I get questions about my settings a lot, and I'd like to make that video. Anyway, we picked our 3 positional needs. And from here, you choose 3 priorities. And you're going to do this 14 times every Sunday leading up to the draft. And like I said, you're either going to scout individual players, an entire position, or try to find more prospects. So let's go to pitchers here for Devin Coley and try to find a pitcher to scout. And I've already scouted these players, actually, because I was using this franchise for my video. But what's cool, too, in this is on the left side, it'll show you where all your picks are. And then all the players will be ranked. Now, eventually you can run out of players and they're no longer ranked. But if you spend the time scouting some of them, you'll realize that there are some hidden gems that maybe the rest of the league isn't onto, and you might just uncover that one of these players is actually a really, promising talent. So you'll notice right off the bat that the ranges you're getting on these ratings are pretty outrageous. I mean, a 60 to a 94 potential, that could be anything. And that's why you need to scout them, to tighten those ranges and hopefully get a better idea of who they are, learn their injury risks, learn their secondary positions. So we can spend, part of our week here focused on Rafael Geronimo, for instance. As an Angels fan, hope you do that franchise. They seriously fail year after year, and man, I'm sick of it. I appreciate that, Metal Beard. Thank you for the super chat. I know you just want to see a winner any way you can get it. So we'll scout Rafael Geronimo and learn a little bit more about him. And then we'll go for Greg DeMille here. We'll just scout position. You need to pick a position and a region, and then you'll get data on multiple players, but it won't be as much information as if you picked one individual. So if we pick center fielders, international, we'll see what that gives us. And then we'll go to Kevin Royster, who specializes in pitchers, and we will scout a pitcher. And we'll scout Daniel Na. So those are our 3 objectives for this week. You'll notice, like right above where my camera is, it shows plus interest per week and plus scouting per week. And the higher a priority a player is, the more you're going to increase their interest in actually signing with you after being drafted. And every player is going to have a different interest level. And if there's a player you really like that isn't all that interested, you can keep them on this board for multiple weeks. Along with, after drafting them, you have a chance to still then increase interest. So let's say those are the 3 things we want to focus on this week. You go up to the top right, hit advance, and you don't have to do anything else until the following Sunday. So there's no micromanaging between there, and you actually can't even click on it until the next Sunday. Kind of wish they let you so you could at least look at the board if you were curious and weren't on a Sunday. But we've made it to the next week now. It's week 2. And scouting is available once again. And now we start to uncover a bit of information. Rafael Geronimo, 45% interested in signing with us, and he's looking for a $235,000 bonus. You are given, in the top left, a bonus allotment, and that is the money that you're able to use to sign all of your picks, and you can't go over. So that's just a little budgeting you have to manage. And again, if a player is less interested in you, you can raise that interest by offering a much higher bonus, along with keeping them perhaps in this scouting panel and raising their interest maybe +3 or 2% per week. So you kind of got to pick and choose what you're going to do there. But you're going to do this process for 14 weeks. And you'll be able to get better scouting profiles. And if you have better scouts than the one I chose, you can sometimes get entire scouting reports in 1 week. In this case, Rafael Geronimo, okay, he's a relief pitcher, so no secondary position or anything. But the ranges got a little bit tighter. Before it was saying on the low end it'd be like a 60 overall, and now they have him as a 66, maybe a 90 on the high end. We'll keep scouting him along with Daniel Na. We have 70% done on him. And already potential is looking pretty solid. And then for the center fielder prospects, we ended up scouting 10 players. And if we cancel that scouting assignment and then go back into the menu, we can then toggle to recently scouted. And these are all going to be center fielders from international regions that we now have a little bit more info on. And we can see who might be worth looking deeper into. And already Miguel Benitez will stand out because his potential is 82 to 99. And that's with 30% scouting. So we'd like to get a little bit more info on him. The other thing you'll notice too is that these players are ranked. And there is a draft rank that is kind of like the big board. You know, you can go through the entire board and just see where those guys are ranked. But the more scouting you do, it seems like the team draft rank is more of a true rank. But I'm still learning the ins and outs of how this works as well. So, certainly not an expert, but I've done this a couple times now. And I've gotten pretty good results in the drafts that I've done. So, once again, you know, we're going to say we're done for the week. We'll come back later and see what changed in that time. Now we got Rafael Geronimo, potential 72 to 87. We see his home run per 9 is a strength. His pitch velocity should be a strength. And, you know, after scouting him, we actually have him ranked 155, which makes him a draftable player when he was originally not even ranked. The new series is going to be here on the second channel. So I think that gives you an idea of what scouting is going to be like. You'll have to decide, you know, do we know enough about a player? Do we need to continue scouting them? Because you only get so many chances to find more players. But one thing that's nice with this system compared to the last one is that you have like a board that tells you where guys are projected to go. And before it was tough because if you were picking in the 20s, you didn't know necessarily what players were just a waste of time for you to scout because they'd be way off the board. In this case, you'd be able to say, all right, we pick at number 1, so we want to pick from players in this range. But maybe for pick 42, we need to go closer to 42 and see who's in this range that actually makes sense for us. So you're not going to have profiles on 100 guys by the end of this. When I've done it, I've had like 20 to 25. And I've been able to draft players that I've scouted without just having to hopefully see an 8%er, you know, end up being a good player. So I haven't had an issue running out of players because you can pay attention to those ranks and make sure you're scouting top prospects and third round caliber guys and so on. And if you don't want to manage this at all, you can end up setting it to auto, which I will do here just so we can sim to draft day and I can show you what that looks like. If you want to see even more depth here with the scouting, I'll be putting out a video possibly tomorrow where I do an entire season of scouting and you'll see how that goes. I think the UI could use a little bit of work. There are a few things missing that I would like. For instance, being able to customize your own board, favorite players so you can keep them in a nice condensed list, rank players based on certain skills that you've learned information on. I think it's an improved system that still has, you know, more to do. So let me go and get to draft day. This is taking forever because there's always like injuries popping up and stuff. But I've enjoyed it so far. The scouting was pretty basic in the previous rendition. And I think this gives it a lot more life. All right, we're almost to draft day, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then I will go through my my settings as well. That was requested earlier. I have already put them into the game. So when you get to the draft, you can create like a draft queue. And the reason you do that is because when you end up picking, you're going to be on the clock. So let's go into the draft. They make a really big deal out of the top 3 picks, and we happen to have the number 1 pick. And as soon as you get in here, boom, 4 minutes and the clock is running. It's not pausable. So the queue is there for you to, all right, we're going to draft Alberto Alonso if the time runs out, but in the meantime, I'm still going to be looking. And that's so you don't just get stuck with a random player. So use the queue. And if I toggle this, it'll show me all the players that we have scouted. Now, some only have like 15%. It seems to be anybody that's above like a baseline 10%. So a lot of these players have full scouting reports, and there are some partials as well. And you'll just have to decide how you want to go about your scouting. If you're going to focus on a small group of players, or if you want to cast a wider net and try to have maybe 50 or 60% for a bunch of players. So, yeah, there is a little pressure put on you because you are timed. But I'm going to just go ahead here and select Alberto Alonso, and you'll see this. And this is for the first 3 picks in the draft. They do like the whole smoke effect and everything. There's Alberto Alonso. It automatically does the next 2 picks like this, but then it stops and you can go through and go much faster. I do wish David Geronimo could be a DH for me with the Rockies too. Like, that would be his best role for us. So those are the top 3 players that were taken, and then it'll bring you back to this menu. And if you want to watch it slowly, now there's a 10-second clock for the CPU teams. And when that time runs out, you see who's next. And it just keeps on going until you pick again. But let's go ahead and skip to our next pick, 42. And we can go ahead once again and just take a look at who we have some information on. Who do we want to take here? We can see where their draft rank is, where we have them ranked ourselves. Let's go with Miguel Benitez. A little bit of a reach, but let's just take him. And then it pops up this screen for the other players that you select. I haven't yet chosen a franchise team for the second channel. I'm working on that. Now I'm going to simulate the rest of the draft. That's how it goes. Now, previously, when the draft would end, you would immediately go and sign those players and see all their ratings. Notice how this is locked. You can't actually work on that until you get past the All-Star break. So let's just sim to that. Took a lot longer than I thought it would. And now, okay. So I simmed through the 14th, and so I can't click on it there. It changes after this period to where every 3 days you now have a chance to go in here. And it's the same like 3 priority menu. And you're still able to gain interest for players even though you've already drafted them. Now you're trying to get them more interested in actually signing the contract with you. So why don't we start over here with Miguel Benitez. He's already 76% interested. If we wanted to like make it a sure thing, you know, you could increase the money, but it doesn't seem like we really have to. His demand is $925K, and because we drafted him, I think a little bit earlier than he was supposed to go, his slotted amount is already higher than his demand. So he ends up signing with us. That worked out. Even though he's signed, we still can't see his ratings yet. We have to wait until this entire period is over, and then the ratings will unlock. And also, for players that you were able to draft that you didn't have a full scouting report on, you'll notice here of Aguila that he's still gaining 10% every 3 days. So we are able to scout him after drafting him, which is an interesting concept. I think it automatically signed our number 1 pick for us, I want to say. So I'll just try to get these done. And even though I increased the offer there for Paul Goodman, he still declined it. And there's a chance that you don't come to an agreement and you don't get that player. And that's something that happens in baseball. And just because you draft a guy doesn't mean he's going to come play for you. Just ask the A's about Kyler Murray. Yep, you do reach. You're going to overpay those players if you reach. And you have to keep in mind the bonus allotment that you're given. We are low on our bonus allotment now because I think the number 1 pick just automatically signed, or maybe because I simmed those first 3 days, the CPU handled that. Let's just tell the CPU to handle the rest. And get to the point where we can then see those player ratings. The deadline is August 1st. Once you get there, that is the final day. And once you're past it, you can just view your draft picks. Hey, Kane, been playing since 4 a.m. this morning. Hope you're enjoying the game. So are the Angels the team or the Pirates for this channel? I am confused. I haven't picked the team. This is just an example where I'm showing off what the scouting is like here. So now we get an idea of the actual potentials of the players and everything. So Alberto Alonso, we had 90 potential for him. I know my camera's in the way now. I'm sorry. I'm just going to move it here. That's not any better. Whatever. So, 90 potential on Alonso, 92 on Miguel Benitez, and then 78. These were the picks I simulated for the most part. Hey, Rafael Geronimo was a random player who had 80 actual potential. So, he comes in as a 44 overall, and a lot of these players are coming in fairly low. Alonso at 69, but he was one of the best prospects in the entire draft, so a much faster route for him to get to the major leagues. And then you can see all of his individual ratings right there. He has A potential. No secondary position, though. He plays center field, and that is it. He's the center of attention, Alberto Alonso. And then using the trigger, you can go and see, how other teams did with their drafts. From the looks of things, there are a lot more players whose potentials are in the 80s and 90s than I'm used to seeing. So I don't know what that means for like long-term development and franchise and everything, but it seems like there's a fair amount of guys in the 80s and 90s. Four picks. Oh, wow. First round pick, a 62 potential. That's tough. So, yeah, that's a look at the scouting and drafting here in MLB The Show 23. And I'm looking forward to playing around with that in the new franchise that I end up starting here soon. No, you cannot transfer franchises from the show 22 to 23. That is a feature that I am desperate for them to bring back because it's extremely important for players like me who love playing franchise, and sometimes a year isn't enough to complete your time with the team. So, unfortunately, year-to-year saves haven't been in the game for a while, and I really wish that they would bring it back. Now, it was requested earlier that I show off some of the settings that I play with and will be playing with for my franchise on this channel. So, I do play a little bit more on the Sims side of things, and the settings I use are not necessarily what I recommend for playing online, playing against your friends, or playing Road to the Show. This is just my preference. So, I have it set to simulation game style. Hall of Fame difficulty is just what I've been comfortable with for a few years, and you know, I get challenged by it. I have my good games, I have my bad games, a good blend of everything. For decisions, now, there's stuff you can do that makes your gameplay even more realistic than what I experience. You know, you can turn on auto fielding, so the players will do all the fielding, and you're kind of at the mercy of all their ratings. They'll run to the ball, taking whatever angle they think is best, and they can also make their own throwing decisions. I like to have an element of control while still keeping the game fairly sim. I want to control base running. I want to control where we're throwing to, when we're testing to throw home, when we're just going to hit the cutoff, and even auto fielding. So I'm in control of diving plays and getting to the right spot and taking angles on balls in the gap. For rules, I like personalized umpires. You're going to have some that call inside pitches more than others, and they'll have varying strike zones that you kind of have to get to know during a game what you're going to get away with and what you won't. I have injuries on, ejections on, balks are off, just because it can kind of get a little annoying. Umpire close plays. Will they sometimes make mistakes? I'm okay with the mistakes. Check swing appeals. Yes. For miscellaneous, I do put CPU pitch delay on faster just for less time between pitches. You can do whatever you want for that. Got player lock settings that you can mess around with there. And then for controls, so I use hitting settings that out of the box are not default whatsoever. And, you know, a lot of people will swing with the PCI, and that's, you know, you aim and you swing. It's a two-part process. In franchise, I will not be using the PCI because I want to have to play around player ratings more often. I don't want to have a player whose ratings are low for vision and contact, but I'm having a good day with the PCI, so I'm able to hit better with them. I want to be at the mercy of their ratings. So I don't want to turn a player into something he's not, just based on the way I play the game. So I do buttons for input and directional hitting. And with directional hitting, it completely turns the PCI off. All you're doing at that point is swinging, and to me, it's enjoyable. It's the classic way of playing baseball games that I grew up with, and if you want a franchise where player ratings matter, it's one option for you to go with. If you want the PCI on because it's your preference, that's fine too. For defense, actually this is pitching. Classic interface. What that's going to do is you're going to press a button for the pitch you want, aim it, and the rest is up to the pitcher. It's not about your ability to hit the meter in the sweet spot. It's not about any of those mechanics that test your accuracy. It's going to be the player ratings. If you're throwing, you know, a curveball with a guy who's not confident in his curveball and doesn't have good control of it, you're going to have to think twice about throwing that curve because he may just throw it right over the plate. And I really enjoy having to do this, again, because it relies more on player ratings. And I can't just have a good day with the pitching meter and, you know, have some 72 striking out 12 guys because I'm able to just play well enough. I want the player ratings to matter there, and that's why I use that feature. And for throwing interface, I'm using buttons. By default, it'll be button accuracy, which is going to give you a throwing meter, and the harder you want to throw it, the more risky it is of throwing a bad ball. And using buttons instead, it's going to look at the player's throwing accuracy and throw power, and you're going to get a throw based off of that. Why directional instead of timing swing? So, you know, timing is probably actually what I should be using. Notice how I turned these things off so I wasn't even using them to begin with. I essentially do use timing. I was copying over settings from my previous game, and I'm not sure if I had it on directional or timing, but the settings were fundamentally the exact same. So I'm sorry that might have been a little confusing. All right, any more things here I wanted to talk about? Accuracy chevrons. So that's like going to be one of those things where it'll kind of give you visual graphic indicators of how difficult certain throws could be. The catch position indicator, if you want to challenge with that, like off, I might check out just some other options there and see if I want to tweak my settings at all before finalizing stuff. And there are some other things too that honestly are less realistic, but I still have on. For instance, I have the hot zones for batters, you know, pop up on the first pitch. I will have the confidence and energy bars, so I'll always know if a player is confident in a certain pitch. And I'll have the pitch feedback on, swing feedback as well, so I'll know if I'm a little bit late or a little bit early. I like keeping that stuff on. I noticed that off the wall ribbon is off. I'm going to check that out and see what I think. That is where a ball is flying towards the fence, and it shows you the angle it's going to come off when it bounces, so you can prepare. I'm going to see what it's like with that off, because it is more realistic to keep it off, and that's how it was out of the box. So I'll take a look. But that's basically the settings that I play on. It makes it a bit more sim than default. You can take it further than I do if you like, but this gives me an experience in franchise where I have fun playing the game, but ultimately we will only go as far as the players take us, and their ratings will always matter. That's my goal in franchise. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the stream so far. We'll get into a game. I also wanted to show you guys what PlayStation sent me this year. They gave me the game, and thank you to PlayStation for that. But they also gave me the MLB The Show 23. I believe they call it the launch box. They gave me this duffel bag stuffed with MLB The Show related merchandise and whatnot. So let's go through some of this, and then we'll play a game. How's that sound? So, of course, who's on the cover this year? We got Jazz Chisholm. Got a couple really nice cards here in protective cases as well. Last year, I got the Shohei Ohtani one from them, so now I have the Jazz Chisholm to go with it. They went all out for us this year, by the way. Got an MLB The Show hat. I desperately wish I looked better with a hat on. Like, I just don't think I can pull it off very well, is all. Hats are cool, but not on me. I just don't think I have the head for it. Maybe I'm a backwards hat kind of guy. No one does the backwards hat anymore. Y'all ever seen these? You can drink out of this. This is a baseball bat. This is the most narrow drinking vessel I own. So that's pretty cool. They gave MLB The Show 23 t-shirt. And on the back, we got Derek Jeter. I know he's a legend in the game this year. Now, in Texas, I'm not sure how much time I'll get a chance to wear this. It was 85 today, and I went swimming. But starter jacket. Maybe next year they'll give me a tank top or something a bit more fitting to the climate. Oh, I'm missing one piece behind me. Like I said, they went all out this year. Jazz Chisholm, signed official Major League Baseball. Incredibly cool. And the last thing that I think would also be fun, and maybe I'll save this for a different day. 24 packs, Series 1, Topps 2023 set. Maybe we can rip these, check them out. They really went all out, and thank you again, PlayStation. Really, really appreciate that. Yes, they gave us a bunch of stuff last year as well, but they definitely wanted to, they stepped their game up huge this year. And, I mean, all of it also comes in a very nice Nike duffel bag as well. And who doesn't like a good quality duffel bag? So, huge thanks, PlayStation, and the developers over at MLB The Show at San Diego Studios. So much stuff, it's hard to even keep track of. And I'm still drinking out of my MLB The Show 21 insulated water bottle. This has been my go-to for 2 years. I'm really excited to check these out, though, you know. I don't really buy cards much. It's been a long time since I bought cards and ripped packs, but I mean, who didn't grow up, like, loving this? So that'll be a lot of fun. 24 packs, 14 cards a pack, a few hundred cards. There'll be an autograph or a relic card in every box, so definitely gonna get some cool stuff. Just give me a Byron Buxton and I'll probably be happy as can be. Who wants to play a game? Let's get into it. That's the one thing I haven't really done a whole lot with. I did a little batting practice. I play with Satchel Paige for a few minutes. I want to check that out even more, even though I don't play Diamond Dynasty. Like, I just want to play the storylines and learn about some of those players. And it's just presented in a really cool way. I definitely recommend checking that out. Who should I play a game with? The O's and the Mariners? Like, two teams that were terrible forever and now are actually pretty interesting. That sounds like a good idea. O's and the Mariners. Kyle Gibson, day one starter. Interesting. Gunnar Henderson at shortstop. Got some experience last year. Maybe another piece of the puzzle here for the Orioles. Let us know how you like the new bat sounds this year. Yeah, I noticed immediately how different that was. There were a couple, like, I wasn't hitting the ball that well immediately. I was, like, having these ugly fouls, and it sounded almost like I was hitting a golf club. I got the game early from PlayStation directly. And I'll let you see a little bit of the presentation as well. You know, I'm a huge fan of this stuff, and when it comes to franchise mode, I'll be highlighting as much of this as I can. And there's Gibby. 5.05 ERA last year. That went up a little bit. Am I going to check out March to October? See, I don't think I will because I want to do just full-blown franchise over here, so that's what I'll be getting into soon. I think the graphics and everything look really solid. And like I said, you know, the pitching for me, it's as simple as pick the pitch, aim, and we'll see what ends up happening. There you go. Fastball. 0-2. Trying to see how to get the catcher to show me what he wants. Not doing it right now. The 0-2. Ooh, got him. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Good start. Is the pitch selection look a new design or just your settings? That seems to just be new UI elements. Will you consider a Moneyball franchise for the second channel? Keep the budget at or under a certain amount each year? I haven't really decided. You know, I'm going to do a full franchise over here, and it might end up being a team that has a really low budget. But to think about like a second rebuild that's really Moneyball focused, possibly at some point if my first one doesn't quite fit that. But that probably won't be something I do right away. I'm trying to focus on doing less series at any given time. And that means that probably not going to start 2 things at once. All right, 2-2 to Julio Rodriguez. Wasn't a very good changeup. Yeah, typically you can get the catcher to like ask for a pitch in a certain spot, and I'm not like the smartest when it comes to pitch sequencing or anything, and sometimes I like to see what the catcher has to say. I'll tell you what, I don't think Sid's going to come back for Road to the Show, but could Sid come back maybe in the franchise I end up doing? I might be into that. What do you guys think? Yeah, is there a setting where it shows like the catcher? Maybe they just don't have that anymore. Not seeing it. All right, 3-2 once again. Let's go up and in with the cutter. Kyle Gibson's feeling it after his first strikeout, and he missed high. Advanced pitch settings API. Oh, is that it? Yeah, they changed around some of these menus, so it can be a little bit tougher to remember where everything is. Yeah, where is that API? Sorry, this is taking me forever. CPU pitch suggestion, is that what it's called? Used to be under pitched advanced. Okay. CPU pitch suggestion. Huh. Only available if fielding aids is set to on. There it is. It'll tell you the best base to throw to. You know, there might be some settings that I just want to go and look at a little bit more. There you go. So we can actually get the catcher's opinions on the matter. So it's flashing the cutter, and we saw he wanted it inside here. There you go. Ty France. See you later. I also saw you have the ability now to create like a new team to take into franchise. So I'm going to have to do some exploring here, I think, over the next couple days and figure out exactly what I want to do. Ooh. Show me a perfect route. I'll probably end up turning that off. I don't really want that. I like a clean UI that shows me just enough. All right, let's see if he'll chase the slider. 2-2. Struck out the side. Oh, no, he held up. He checked, and they stole. Okay, a lot went on there that I did not quite understand. Circle change, 3-2. Might be time to upgrade to Legend. We'll see. I definitely don't think I'm, like, that's my skill level necessarily. I like Hall of Fame. And then I also think about how, like, with my settings, I'm giving a lot of power to the players. Do I want it on Hall of Fame simply for that? My gameplay is going to be less skill-based than someone else's because of these settings. I've taken power that would be mine and given it to the players. 1-2. But hey, we got a 5 ERA pitcher, you know, or he's pitching like a 5 ERA pitcher now. Wow! Struck him out. I think the sounds are pretty nice, yes. But if, like, you've never played on Hall of Fame yourself, I would start on something lower and just see what gives you good games, you know? You should be able to play and not know what you're getting into. You know, I was playing my Rockies franchise the other day, and, you know, back-to-back games. First one, we blew them out, hit a bunch of home runs. Next game, we lose like 3-2. You know, the game just... Every game's different. I don't know. I've been no-hit before. I've thrown no-hitters. I've hit 6 home runs. I've barely made contact in some games. And now I get questions about this camera of mine. So, this is a custom based off of Fisheye 2. There's just, you know, certain angles that I like. You know, I feel here... This doesn't seem quite right to me. This is the default view, which isn't a bad camera at all. But I've gotten really attached to Fisheye 2. And then typically what I do is I bring it down a little bit, trying to make it a little more level. And then I also zoom in. And I like to keep, you know, first and third base in my, like, peripheral vision. And that's roughly my camera right there. So let's see if I can handle hitting in here. The timing's a little bit different than 21, which I've been playing a lot. Variety, the best in sports games. It is. I think that when the game becomes predictable, it removes a lot of what could make the game fun otherwise. Wasn't that beautiful? Game 5 for the Rockies this weekend? Probably not this weekend. Probably going to be early next week. Got a Titans game in cooking up as well. Ooh, I was a little bit late on it. Who doesn't love a good bat sound? All right, Gunnar Henderson. How was the franchise mode in this game? I think that they have improved the scouting aspect this year. I still think that there's more they could do to improve quality of life and everything, but it's a much better scouting feature. Ah. It's a nasty changeup right there. I do need to still spend some time in the off-season to see if any improvements are there, to see how CPUs are handling roster management. The CPU does do way too many trades. I would definitely turn down your trade frequency slider in your franchise. All right, we're taking some borderline pitches here, but he's around the zone. There are trade sliders. I don't think I'll be able to see them necessarily here because I'm in play now. But maybe I can. Yeah, trade frequency. I'd knock that down, maybe one up from the lowest level and see what that does. I'll probably do some testing with it, but definitely knock it down. And also they have sliders for injuries. And it seems like there's a lot of injuries happening in the simulating that I've been doing, and I don't know if it's too much or if it just seems like it because I'm simming so much at a time. Way behind it. All right. Yeah, Lord Luigi, that's what I like too. And I would probably keep it all the way down for year one just to not ruin the league in the first year and kind of let them have a little more freedom as the series goes on. 2 on, 1 down. They're a Mat 10 guy that does the sliders. So I don't actually use sliders in the show for contact and stuff like that. I really enjoy Hall of Fame default with my settings. I've never had to use gameplay sliders in the show to get what I want. There are a couple things that I'd probably like to adjust slightly. I think that in my Rockies franchise, probably could use more throwing errors. Anybody else think so? Driven out to center. Ooh, that's pretty deep. Wow. Warning Shrek, fly ball. Maybe I could have gotten to third on that. Ryan Mountcastle. I'll reveal the team as soon as I know and I can get that first video going, I think. Or an intro video showing them off. One of the two. Oh, I don't want to swing at that. I tried to check it. Completely fooled me. Your outfields are hard enough. That is true. But I'm more so talking about, it feels like at third and short, we get, perfect throws. And how often do we have throwing errors in the infield? No pitch timer that I've seen. I've had 2 ugly swings here, and now it's 0-2. Please do an intro. Gets me pumped. I like doing those intros. I'll probably end up doing an intro. I do have good infielders. Yeah, that's the other part. Three and two. You go down to the minor leagues sometime. If you go and play it like AA and AAA with your same settings, you feel like they're just the worst defenders ever. Oh. That was not my best at bat. Best MLB stadium. My completely biased opinion, Target Field. That first inning sure took a while, didn't it? Ooh. What's he want? Where does he want it? It just says he wants the cutter. He's not giving me a location. I'm not going to use the PCI for franchise. Got him. Definitely not going to use the PCI in franchise. Just a preference thing. I like it for playing online in the competitive environment, and I was cool with it for Road to the Show because you're playing as one player. But for franchise, I want to keep it more sim and let the player ratings shine more often. Like if I do 2K again over here, you're 100% going to get true shot percentage out of me. There's not going to be, you know, can Kane hit a green on this guy's jump shot? Ooh, we got 5 Ks already. They haven't even put a ball in play that we retired him on. We'll see if AJ Pollock puts one on the ground or something. Come on, give me that one. Hey, Kane, thanks for the nice surprise to start the weekend. Brewers for the franchise team, contending team that needs some love in the farm system, plus no juggernaut in division like the Dodgers. I'd probably honestly consider them. I want to take a look at a few factors when weighing these teams. I want to see what they have on day one, and then, you know, factor in what kind of budget we're looking at. They're more of a mid-tier team, but I'd still probably consider them. Yeah, I already do not like that, that like defense, it like shows you the best angle to take. I just don't want that. Is that a gameplay setting? Oh no, route to ball indicator. Yeah, get that out of here. Appreciate the super chat, Zach. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. If you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the video. Hoping to continue growing the baseball side of things over on this channel. We did Sidney Jean-Charles last year, and now we're going into franchise. Hardcore. It's tapped back to Gibby. Casually. Almost hit him in the back. Last year, the Rangers would have been a nice team. Yeah, like, I think they were one of my favorite options. And now they've spent a bunch of money. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about them. But in general, like, they got some fun prospects. And they've been bad for a while. You know, if you don't mind starting out with, like, DeGrom and Seager and Simeon, then, yeah, they're still a good option. And they're going to be a team that spends a bit. Would love to see a WBC expansion. Yeah, for sure. Two and two. Had a lot of long at-bats already against Castillo. Definitely feels like the sweet spot for like getting good contact is tighter than what I'm used to playing with my Rockies. That's fine. Putting that one in play. That was good timing, but couldn't do a whole lot with it, unfortunately. Pirates should 100% be the rebuild option. They're definitely contending, Steeler Nation. I really like the idea of taking a team that might not spend a bunch of money and having to figure it out. Really highlighting the need to draft well. Hey, what's going on, Robert? Appreciate you staying a member over on this channel. Reminds me, I got to schedule the member stream here soon. Down the line, foul. First impressions. I've liked what I've seen so far. You know, good to see some love shown to franchise and getting the scouting improvements. We're just now getting into gameplay. Still love the bat sounds. And there's a lot of new bat sounds in the game this year. And then, you know, graphically and presentation-wise, the show does a good job. Like, I'm enjoying myself, for sure. I don't have a March Madness bracket. I haven't made one in a long time. Well, we got a man on, but the 9-hitter is down 0-2 to Luis Castillo. Would I say major upgrade from 21? There are a couple things to consider if you're comparing 21. Yes, the scouting is better. I can't really comment yet on like roster management and stuff by the CPU because I just haven't tested it yet. But the other thing is that now the universal DH is in, and there's no way of getting that. Well, could you do that for 21 if you started a brand new franchise and had that as an option? Because honestly, the universal DH is like a big deal for me after playing so much 21, because it's a fundamentally very different like style. Imagine my Rockies with a DH, you know? Geronimo would never see left field again. Still looks clean and crisp, for sure. Graphics look sweet. Yeah, I get that. The show is always a very fun game every year, I think, for franchise players. So, even if you're not a huge baseball fan, I think it's easily to fall in love with this game. At the beginning only. Yeah, I mean, when I started my Rockies franchise, I follow what real life had for the rules. And now I'm at a point where it's like, wow, I'd love to have the universal DH, but I can't change it mid-series. Here in, 23, it's going to be universal DH by default. And if you'd prefer to play with no DH, that's also an option. Hammered to right. That's going to be foul. It really wouldn't shock me to see it become a PC game at some point. PlayStation's been putting a lot of their games on PC, like, after the fact. Dumped into right. They're going to have 2 on. This is trouble. But the show would be a little bit different because it's a game with a yearly release and everything, and It's got to be there day one if you're going to do it at all. All right, Gibby, we got some trouble here. See if we get a chase. We got opening day, only 6 days away now on the 30th. Hopefully weather doesn't, like, throw off a bunch of those games. Like, I'm always worried if I can actually watch the Twins right away or not. Like, that's into left. Gonna tag on that. Oh, I barely caught it. Hayes throwing home. Oh, offline. A run scores. Teoscar. Taken off. Come on, Rutschman. Safe. Yeah, let's check this out. Trying to limit the damage here if we can. Yeah, I'd love to see year-to-year saves come back. It's, you know, this is the one game that did it, and then it hasn't been here since the PS5 came out. It was so nice to have. Man, Gibby, you're losing it. Going to the Twins game tomorrow in Fort Myers? That sounds fantastic. Saw they really beat the Red Sox yesterday, like 11-0 or something. Cautiously getting optimistic for the Twins this year. Is that wrong? Like, the rotation looks, you know, much better than in years past. I think a lot of it depends on, you know, are we getting Byron Buxton for 60 games, 100 games? What kind of a season is he going to have? And then I think the Twins are also betting on a bunch of guys. Oh, that's the other thing here is I believe all the shift rules would be in this game, correct? So if I want to adjust the defense, I don't think we can do... I think you have to have two infielders on either side of second base. So when you're talking about the difference between this game and 21, I think the universal DH, elimination of the shift, two big things that will, you know, not be in that game. Although I guess you can make the universal DH in 21 if you start something brand new. No pitch clock. Cleveland rebranded. They were not the Guardians in 21. Fly to center. All right, they get one. Twins are iffy, but so is the AL Central. See? Exactly. How does that not fall over? Just bought a ballpark pass for my Guardians, $55 a month, and standing room tickets to all home games. $55 a month. That doesn't seem too unreasonable if you enjoy watching the game that way. How's the game? I'm enjoying it. I think with the show, you know what you're getting into every year. I mean, every year I just say, I like this game a lot. I love playing the show. It's been some of my favorite content to make here the last couple of years. I might not be playing all that well, but I still have fun. Castillo putting together a much quicker inning against me now. I'm a little bit late. My timing is still... I think I'm still getting used to just the nuances of hitting in this game, plus I'm facing a really good pitcher that is going to throw a complete game if I don't start to do something different. Favorite player of all time. So, still going to my childhood favorite, initial favorite player when I was a kid was Torrey Hunter of the Twins. Since then, you know, I love defensive-focused center fielders. I love seeing, you know, great catches. Was really upset when they let Torrey go. Line to left. Come on. That's 10 to 12 games. They have a great corner bar railing to chill at for a couple hours with some snacks. Doesn't sound too bad if getting to the stadium is relatively hassle-free. And if they're good, I mean, who isn't going to enjoy that then? You can get a pretty cheap, good ballpark atmosphere if they end up having a solid year again. Now, they're not going to get a perfect game on me. I began the game with a nice base hit. I have a few hits. I have 2 hits. It's not a lot. But still. Why not? Started over the plate. Barely hit outside. That's a strike. Gonna have to get the bullpen going, though. Gibson has not been working quick, but I also haven't really just been throwing low sinkers hoping to get ground balls a ton. He hasn't had as much confidence in the sinker. Can you see why? Just throw it in the zone. Favorite current non-Twin player? Probably Mookie Betts. I love Mookie Betts. Does everything. Might not be elite at a lot of stuff, but I mean, he'll steal bases, make great plays, hit for power, get triples, you know. He's an energizing player. I don't enjoy playing against him in the Dodgers franchise. Or the Rockies franchise when we're up against the Dodgers. If you heard what happened, you didn't have to see it to know that was going to be pretty good for them. No, I don't live in Minnesota. I live down in Texas now. Oh, that's cool. Check that out. Win expectancy. Oh. I love stats in my video games, and that just made that part of my brain very happy to see that. Dude, Gibby, you gotta go, man. Oh, man, this bullpen, though. Orioles, I still got some questions about y'all's pitching. Oh, yeah, I like Ohtani and Trout, but... yeah, I'd have to go Mookie Betts for my favorite, like, non-twin. I just love watching them. Come on. This is getting pretty bad. Oh, boy. He ain't ready yet. Mound visit. His confidence is still up, though. He's a veteran. Can't shake him that easily. Do we bring in Wells, or do we keep him out there? Michael Givens. I just wanted to see what ratings make a 67 overall here. I don't know if they've adjusted the formulas at all. It felt like there weren't very many high-rated players. Like a 67 in my eyes isn't even a major leaguer in most cases. And this whole pitching staff is full of them. Bring them in. They're cheering as Gibson gets taken out. I don't know who the new team is going to be yet. I just wanted to play with a couple interesting teams. Tyler Wells. No pitch clock. Nope. It looks like he's ready to go. Go ahead and face Julio Rodriguez. Best of luck. Did I want the fastball there? That's why I like my settings, you know. He's a low-rated pitcher. He's going to pitch like it. Strategize accordingly. That's why you rarely see me like, I shouldn't throw a curveball to Julio Rodriguez with a low-rated pitcher. And there's no, like, pitching meter where I can just, you know, hopefully make it work anyway. I'll try one, though. I'll have some fun. Not bad. Sometimes it goes in the right spot. Sometimes it goes 500 feet to left field. Let's keep this game within reach. Okay. Is Sammy Sosa in the game? I didn't hear that. I also don't pay a lot of attention to the legends and stuff because I don't play Diamond Dynasty. But that'd be pretty cool. Uh-oh. Center field for Mullins. Got it. We got to get some offense going. Yeah, Jose Ramirez is fantastic. He always seems to do well against the Twins. Yes, over his head, and they shift it over. They're paying the price for it. Into second is Santander. We got our extra base hit. Mountcastle.
ball. 2 ball. No strike.
2-0. Ah, I got a little jammed on it. Man. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my bat a little bit faster than this. That was a good pitch to hit. Just got to speed it up. The storylines are really cool. Yes, I do plan on playing some of that. I was trying out the one with Satchel Paige. I didn't have time to, like, play a full game, but I could totally see, like, the cards you get being super rewarding and it just being a fun mode. On the ground and through. We are not sending him home. He might have scored. I don't know. Look at that. Austin Hayes is next. Runners at the corners. One down. No! Didn't want that. A couple times he's thrown his slider, like, way off, and I've just, like, act like I've never seen one before. All right. This is bad. Day's gone pretty good. No complaints here. Second strikeout for Castillo. I'm shocked it's only 2. Adam Frazier. We got a chance here. That was a little bit late. Not going to drop in. Try again next time. I was still a little slow on that swing. Hitting in this game, or even like 22 versus 21, does feel very different, and I'm more so used to the Rockies right now, and I think that both 22 and 23 are faster in terms of like the ball getting to the catcher, and the timing is just a little slightly bit different. And once I play a couple of games, I get it down. Ooh, foul. The stream's gone well. We've checked out scouting a bit, and I'll have a video coming maybe even tomorrow on the scouting feature. That's looking pretty good. And this is just my first like full regular game, so I haven't gotten as deep as some others would at this point because I spent so much time just messing around with scouting for a video. But I mean, if you like the show, I think you'll like it. Got him. Feels good that they swing at that just like me. I haven't done an A's franchise. No, I haven't done many MLB series. I've played with the Twins and Rockies in my franchises on the main channel. And then I had Sidney Jean-Charles Road to the Show with the Cardinals last year. And I've done, you know, Jordan Stark's Road to the Show with the Padres. The A's certainly provide a challenge, and we'll see if that's the one I choose to tackle. Got him looking. Nice job coming in, giving us a couple solid innings of work. You know, the game's still within reach. So let's see if we can make something happen. We got the speedy Jorge Mateo here. Thank you. Yeah, what do we got here? 55 contact, 47 power. Not showing me his speed. Oh, this is cool here. I haven't really messed around with this. I don't think a 17% whiff rate's good. First pitch strike percentage 50. The Rule 5 draft series. Yeah, that was with the Marlins. Interesting. Conflicting calls here back to back. Yeah, it's not telling us his speed. I thought normally from here it would tell you their speed. But we know he can run. Yeah, ugly late swing again. 99 speed's what he got. All right, man. Can we speed the bats up here? Let's get some early swings. Got to stop hitting late. You know what? I was early on him. I'll take it. Cedric Mullins. 2-1. No. Well, I tried. Sometimes that happens. My timing was going to be fine, too. Had a check swing. Must not have committed to the button press well enough. Yeah, Castillo's really, really good. I'd love to face anybody else. Maybe soon. I don't want those. Come on, Adley. I'm early on it. But I threw a change up and I was too early. I think I was late on that one too. Fan cam. Oh, yeah. Where's the food? Yeah, I see some food. I see some nachos and popcorn. All right, you still got plenty of gas in the tank here. Tyler Wells in for the 6th. I got to score, right? It's my first game. I can't get shut out. At least I'm not going to get no hit, but... Wants the slurve. You got the slurve. Gunnar Henderson charging. Got him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with that new draft system. I've already gotten pretty comfortable with it so far. Oh, he was late. Yeah, there are plenty of teams I'm thinking about right now. I mean, the Pirates have been one that's been talked about a lot in here. Both the Pirates and the A's. Just two teams that don't have a lot positive going for them, don't spend a lot of money. And to work around those challenges with not a big budget is definitely enticing. You gifted a strike right there. Thank you for that. And now let's see if we can earn one 3-2. Nope. Yep, the Reds as well. You know, pretty much you look at the bottom 10 teams in most power rankings, and that's going to make up the bulk of what I'm thinking about right now. Some mid-tier teams that could still make sense would possibly be like the Brewers, but I don't know. They got so much great pitching, and that's a home run. Colton Wong just took me yard. First homer today. Yeah, teams with bad farms too. Like, I'm going to dig into those things. There's the win expectancy. We're at 7%. Quite low. And for the franchise on this channel, I think that it's going to feel a little bit like the Rockies franchise, but it's going to be live commentary. You're still going to get a blend of player lock games and critical situations, and then full games where we just try to follow the story of the team's season. Ooh, big cut. Wanted that one. And tap to Mountcastle. So I'm very much looking forward to getting that underway soon. Castillo's pitch count approaching 80. Let's see if we can have something go our way in the 6th. Starting, he knew I wanted to start swinging earlier, and he's like, all right, I'm going to give you this changeup now, and you're going to be early. What's going to happen to the Rockies franchise? Still kind of thinking about that because the series shouldn't be going on forever. But you want it to have a satisfying conclusion, and we're still working through it. I got to play Game 5 still. Nasty. 5th strikeout for Castillo. I liked it better when he was struggling with the Reds that one year. Hammered to right. Santander with extra bases again. Why is the scoreboard taking up that much real estate? Into second with a double. And now trying to bring him home. I got to get that first run. Yeah, for sure. I think there needs to be some element of moving into the future in that series and moving faster. Like this latest season with the Rockies has taken a significant amount of time. Man, that just early on it. Just early. That was going to be a great pitch to drive. I gave it a good swing. 6 shutout innings. Maybe we make a pitching change now. All right. Not rebuilding the Orioles right now. They're still a team I'm considering, but this is not in franchise or anything. Just wanted to get a game in. If you haven't already done so, also subscribe to the channel. I will be starting a new franchise, hopefully within the next week or so. I think there's probably a roster I'm going to want to wait on down in center. Seems like there are a couple players we need on the roster. Or maybe somebody will upload one to the vault that takes care of what I need. Runner goes, and that couldn't have gone any better for them. They did a hit and run with an 11 speed guy. What if that was a ball? You were okay just being out by a mile? Those winning odds are about to go down even further.
One ball, no strike. No, that's a ball.
On the ground and through. Man, that couldn't be any slower. 6-0. Wonder if I took a bad angle on that one and should have had the play. Yeah, this is Austin Voth. Is MLB capable of relocation franchises? So I saw there was an option. I caught that off the screen, by the way. I saw there was an option to take a custom team into franchise. But as far as like relocating and stuff, I don't think so. Wait, did that count? That was a catch. Oh, you can relocate. I'll have to look into that.
1 and 2.
Yeah, didn't I catch that off the screen? Where's the ball? Yeah, check out how it bounces off the screen. 100%. That's still in play. I wasn't sure how that would work.
Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes.
3-2. Dude. This pitching is rough. That's on the ground. Out there. That's only one.
The batter, number 3, shortstop, JP.
Come on, 6 is enough. Nope, no pitch clock. It'd be kind of weird to implement it because, like, you can skip the catcher throwing it back and a lot of that stuff, so... And also, like, pace of play isn't a concern in the game. So, I don't mind them not including the pitch clock.
Please join us for the traditional 7th-inning stretch.
Having to worry about it would be more of a negative to me. Lined into center. Base hit for Hayes. I just want to run. I'm not asking for a lot. I had early timing. Darn. Come on, Castillo.
1 ball, no strikes.
1 run shouldn't be that hard.
One and 1.
Bad swing. Slide, but under it. All right, we got Cedric Mullins, though. If I square this one up right, we could actually get something on the board.
No ball, 1 strike.
What was that? Energy's low. He's trying to finish the 7th. Man, I'll swing at anything right now. 59 strikes, 34 balls for Luis Castillo, and now 0-2 on Mullins. Turned on it. In the air. Wow. Wave him home. Mullins is going to third to draw the throw. Yes. I can't believe I hit that. I always struggle on that pitch, like up and in like that. I can't believe I hit that. Smoked it too. What are my win odds now?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
3.5%.
Now pitching number 56.
Who's going to be my first home run of MLB The Show 23? Other than the batting practice home runs I hit earlier with Carlos Correa. When I was setting up my camera. Yeah, he showed off the quick bat there. Man. Is that a thing in the show? Do some players have a quicker bat? Because I did feel like that was like maybe not as quick of a swing as I could have had, but he sure connected. No. You couldn't do it yourself? I'm warming up the closer because I demand using a higher than 65 overall reliever in this game.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Orioles, number 45. King.
No, that's a ball.
Colton Wong already took me yard. He'll probably never homer against me again in this game.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Right? I'm talking the entirety of MLB 23. He'll hit a lot of singles, though.
Strike. Woo.
Be nice, Julio.
That's a ball. No, that's a ball.
Man. Robot umps, where are you? No, I have the... Move the fence back even further. What am I supposed to do with this bullpen? I was trying to throw it to the cutoff. There is some StatCast stuff in here, and also some cool, like, stats here you can check on by hitting left on the D-pad. You can kind of see some of the little nuggets they have in here. But yeah, there's still some StatCast replays and stuff.
Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strike.
And then, like, when you make contact, it'll tell you your launch angle and your exit velo. Like, that's 95 exit velo. And that's 94. It'll show you launch angle, I think, when you're hitting, because it shows you your swing feedback. How you doing, Wesley? There you go. I was waiting for one of those. We only need 7. Gunnar Henderson. I've thought about the Angels. I do think there's a lot of intrigue there with trying to have Ohtani and Trout, you know, play on a winning team together, and there's plenty of rebuilding to do there. Just a different option from some others. I was late on that. I wasn't even fast. "66-degree launch angle is not gonna work for me." Now I'm seeing a fastball of his that is like Castillo's changeup. Kane out here demanding 400+ foot minimum for home runs. I'm just looking for a competitive advantage. Not even that. I'm trying to even the playing field here. This is the timing hitting. So my settings here are as such. Am I blocking anything? No. Yeah, timing. Buttons, timing. Hitting X. Hoping for the best, and sometimes you swing right through it. Because it makes that plate vision matter a little bit, and that's like the first one I've swung through the entire game. Let's get somebody ready for the, yeah. Hit it right at him, too. Got a good bat sound out of it, though. All right, 9th inning. Oh, my. 463 feet. Yeah, where did this one land? 3rd story window? Why are you throwing it down the middle? There you go. Yeah, we've often said that Cal Raleigh is the the next Barry Bonds.
No ball. 1 strike.
I don't think that went to the warehouse. Might have been an optical illusion. You want to go on the journey of that home run? It went 460, so I mean, you pull it 460, it's going somewhere it wasn't intended to go. Oh. Pretty... Ooh. Okay, I think it did hit the wall before hitting the ground. So technically, he did hit the warehouse. Sorta. Major technicality. Another one cracked to center field. Mullins chasing after it now. Wow, he got it. We've heard that sound a whole lot in this game, haven't we? Yeah, that wasn't quite the warehouse shot we're looking for, but I think we know it's quite possible now. There you go. Hey, that works too. Is the pitch selector new this year where you see where the pitch will move instead of the pitch tracker where you see the whole line? It might depend on the pitching interface that you choose. Like, this is just what you get with the, like, classic simple pitching that I have. All right, it's bottom of the ninth inning. We'll see if we can tack on any more. But hey, I'm having a good time, and I will look to be, maybe stream again one of these days and try to get some more games in. I don't think that's going that far. Who's on our bench anyway? James McCann. I'll stick with who we have. Yeah, I use very different settings than what they have you use out of the box. But I plan on making a video going through my settings, because I know I play differently and a lot of people are into it. I'm doing pretty good, Rams. How about you? Alabama upset by San Diego State? Really? What seed were San Diego State? Thank you, Ryan. Oh, come on. Austin Hayes to left? Nope.
Up next for the Orioles.
384, and that's like a 15-foot wall. I haven't had one of my, I haven't had a home run yet in this game. I'm waiting to see who I get my first homer with. Kevin O'Connell was there. No wonder they won. It was probably like a dramatic comeback as well in the final 90 seconds, I'd imagine. Oh, that was late anyway. Oh, wicked. Fooled me at least. Just what the fans want here. An 8-run game to get extended by a 3-2 walk. We're one pitch away. Frazier, a second one. Come on. Better luck next time. Should I get Chipotle for dinner? If you can't find like a true Mexican restaurant or something, it's a fallback. I go for some birria right now. I'd love to get some tacos. That sounds pretty good. No BABIP luck there. Nope. Sometimes you get a lot of it. Sometimes you get none. Julio Rodriguez did a pretty good job today, though. But yeah, I'll be streaming more leading up to eventually starting up a new franchise. And next time, I plan on ripping some packs here, and we'll check out what's in here. This was given to me by PlayStation, along with a bunch of stuff I showed off earlier. Jazz Chisholm signed baseball, and just a lot of really cool stuff. So thank you again to PlayStation for giving me the copy of the game and the MLB The Show 23 launch box. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys an MLB The Show franchise over here that you haven't seen before. And I don't think it'll be long before we are underway with that very project. Franchise will be over here, Jordan. So y'all take care. Thank you for spending some time with me tonight, and I will see you all with some more content throughout the weekend. I keep forgetting that it's Friday night, not Saturday night, so plan to stream again sometime this weekend. Y'all take care, and I'll see you again soon.